The State House of Representatives is out with a new sweeping gun control bill that would make major updates to the new way the state regulates firearms. It's a revision of a previous House bill that stalled out in the Senate earlier this year and enraged local gun owners and gun rights activists. House leadership says they hope to pass this bill by the end of the month, but there are still plenty of obstacles. Now, our GBH News correspondent Katie Lannan joins me now from the State House with more information on the bill and its prospect. Hi, Katie. How are you?
Hey, doing well here in my little basement hideaway at the State House.
Excellent. So talk to me. You are at the State House. What are these changes all about? And why are so many people now so upset?
Yeah, so this has been a bill that top House Democrats have been trying to get through for a few months now, but they heard some fierce criticism from gun owners who are worried about their Second Amendment rights, and as well from other lawmakers who had process concerns. There was not initially a public hearing on this bill. Now there is one scheduled for Tuesday, so that'll give people a chance to weigh in. And Stoneham Democrat Mike Day, the chair of the House chair of the Judiciary Committee, said some of the changes they made in the past couple of months respond to concerns that gun owners have raised, including kind of grandfathering in some semi-automatic weapons that weren't previously covered under the state's assault weapons ban, but now would be under this bill. There is some relaxing of language restricting where guns could no longer be carried. So under the bill, if it passes, guns would be formally banned from schools, polling places, government buildings. But the new version of the bill leaves it up to business owners to decide if they want to ban guns in their establishments. So a lot to work through here still.
Now, assuming this goes through, where does this put us, Massachusetts, on the spectrum of, really tough, strict gun controls and more relaxed one? Where would we fall in?
Well, I think one of the things that the proponents of this bill have been saying throughout the process is that Massachusetts already has really tight gun laws. We're already at the stricter end of that spectrum. And what they're looking to do is keep going, really. So they say it's not enough if any Massachusetts resident is still losing their life to gun violence. And they want to make sure that the existing Massachusetts laws still stand in the wake of last year's Supreme Court decision striking down the New York concealed carry law.
Yeah. Take me to explain that a little bit to those who aren't up to date with that particular process. Just give me the little kind of overview of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was a law that really prompted a lot of states to relook, or not a law, sorry, a court decision that prompted a lot of states to take a second look at their restrictions on carrying firearms, particularly in public places. So that's where you see the language in this bill around banning guns from schools, from polling places, government buildings, so-called sensitive spaces. The lawmakers who have proposed this bill say they're confident that those new prohibitions will stand constitutionally.
Now, you said there was going to be a public hearing or an opportunity for the public to voice its on both sides. Where do you see, how do you describe both parties? Who's going to be on one side and who's going to be on the other?
I think so far, at least on the initial version of this bill, the new one, all 123 pages of it, has only been out for a few hours. But initially, we saw a lot of the Gun Owners Action League and local Second Amendment groups calling for the State House not to take up this bill, to let it die, to not pass it. They've had some yard signs you might have seen that specifically call on people to block this bill. We are hearing from gun violence prevention activists who really want to see the state take more action on its gun laws here. And within the legislature, we've been seeing the top Democrats in the House, Speaker Rahm Mariano, some of his key deputies, really putting their weight behind this bill and identifying it as a priority.
Yeah. Just curious, does this break down in any type of geographical breakdown, like in certain areas? There's certain folks who want this, maybe on a racial or ethnic. I mean, what's the breakdown from your point of view, from what you've seen in terms of supporting or not supporting this?
Yeah, I think that'll be really interesting to see as the process plays out, because particularly in places central and western Mass, where you tend to have more hunting going on, more kind of sportsmanship of that nature, people tend to be warier about further restrictions on gun ownership or carrying weapons. One thing that this bill does include is some language kind of aimed at communities that experience a lot of gun violence. They want the state to take a closer look at its measures and mechanisms for funding gun violence prevention services.
Excellent. Well, Katie, try to get out from the basement and enjoy the nice days that we've come before it gets really, really cold. Keep up the good work. Will you be giving us updates on what's going to be going on next week?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be following this to the end of the process, whatever that might be. So right. Stay tuned.
Let's get her out of the basement. Thank you, Katie. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.